So one of the evidences that we have for a global flood is what's surrounding us right now where we're standing here. Looking at what we have all around, we have millions upon millions of marine ocean fossils found throughout the many layers of the Grand Canyon. Now that is evidence of a major catastrophic water event of death and burial in a moment's notice. These fossils that we find here are the product of catastrophic death and burial very quickly. When we look at these fossils, we find that they are broken and shattered and scattered throughout. So something to think about, something to ponder. You know, we are over a mile above sea level here and nearly 400 miles away from the nearest ocean, and yet all of these rock layers contain a vast array of marine ocean fossils. Now, thinking about these fossils, we begin to ask the question, how did they form? How did they get up here? Sounds to me like there must have been a pretty big water event that may have swept over the whole known world, and you might call that a flood. Looking at these rock layers, we find that these marine ocean fossils are scattered and littered throughout here. They're not only found here at the Grand Canyon, but these marine ocean fossil layers are found throughout the entire world. Covering mountaintops, we find marine ocean fossils. Even at the top of Mount Everest at 29,029 feet, we find marine fish fossils and seashells. Now, looking at the rock layers we have here, it shows us that there must have been a major catastrophic event, because that's how fossils are formed. Fossils typically aren't formed by slow, gradual processes. If that were the case, then we should find fossils in today's oceans, but we don't. Fossils are found on the continents on the land. Things that die in the ocean today, typically they float, they bloat, they get picked apart by scavengers, they get eaten and consumed. Even entire whale carcasses may sink down to the ocean floor, and down there, tremendous scavengers like crabs and other crustaceans and hagfish and eels that consume even entire whale carcasses, even the bones very quickly. For something to become a fossil, it needs to be rapidly buried by a pretty good amount of sediment. So it is kept out of reach of scavengers and kept in an oxygen-free or anaerobic environment so that it doesn't naturally decay and decompose. Now those kind of conditions are not happening in the oceans today, which is why we don't find fossils in today's oceans or even forming in today's oceans typically. Our fossils, as I said, are found on the land and the continents. The process for fossils to form is a rapid and catastrophic process that's necessary for fossils to actually form. In today's oceans, we don't find that process happening, and so looking at the rock layers we have here throughout the entire planet shows us that there must have been a major watery catastrophic event of death and burial in a moment's notice. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the earth.